When Europe shifts right, there are no half measures. It's a full-on plunge into populism, expansionism and ethno-racial politics. The last time this happened, the world suffered. Ruthless dictators ran riot, free nations were invaded and millions died. Today, as the European left fails to deliver, the European right is re-emerging. But what are its ambitions this time? Will the continent once again be carved up on ideological lines? First, let's give you some context. On Thursday, three powerful right-leaning politicians met in Budapest. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban, Poland's Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki, and Italian leader Matteo Salvini. They were laying the groundwork for a new European project, a right-leaning political grouping within the continent. And this isn't a new idea, not by a long shot. The EU Parliament already has a right-leaning alliance. It is led by the European People's Party. But last month, Orban quit that alliance. He feels it is playing second fiddle to the European left.
As the so far strongest right-wing party, the European People's Party has visibly committed itself to a long-term cooperation with the European left. Several millions of European citizens have now been left without a European representation. The Christian Democrats in Europe today have no proper representation, and we will be working so that these people have a voice, representation and weight in European politics.
So
what unites this proposed alliance? Orban briefly touched upon this. First, the NATO and Europe's Atlantic commitment. Then we have liberty, dignity, Christianity, family and national sovereignty. There's a lot to unpack here, but we'll do it one by one. The recent wave of migration into Europe has multiplied the continent's diversity. And this has come with its own drawbacks, like radicalization and a series of Islamist attacks. Leaders like Orban believe in the singularity of Europe and Christianity. And his new alliance would champion a Christian Europe. Orban also talks about family. Now, what role does family have in a political alliance? Again, it makes sense from a Christian perspective. Orban is not a fan of abortion or gay rights. During his tenure, he has limited both. Poland recently enforced a near-total ban on abortion. And in Italy, Matteo Salvini is known for making rounds at anti-abortion conferences. Europe's right-wing dream is basically a conservative Christian kingdom. Does this mean withdrawal from the European Union? The Polish Prime Minister does not think so. In fact, he says the alliance wants to boost solidarity.
We want to promote solidarity, but not at the expense of weaker nations. Europe should not dictate the stronger ones, those who are bigger or stronger today. European solidarity should be based on common values.
Europe should not dictate, he says. This is a popular slogan in Eastern Europe. Beyond the cosmetics in Brussels, the EU is an endless bureaucratic pit. Tens of thousands of standards. What size, for instance, should a loaf of bread be? What should be the length of the exhaust pipe on your car? It's an endless list. But there is an upside to this. The regulations extend to democratic practices like freedom of speech. Brussels has long accused Orban of running Hungary into lawlessness. It goes without saying, the Hungarian Prime Minister does not appreciate this evaluation. There is no single reason for this right-wing renaissance. It's a combination of anti-migration rhetoric, the self-glorifying politics of the left, and an aversion to a multicultural Europe. But forging this alliance is not going to be easy. Both Orban and Salvini are close to Russian President Putin. Poland, on the other hand, has a love-hate relationship with Moscow. And navigating the Russian question is not going to be easy. Europe is fertile ground for right-wing politics, a trend that was reinforced by the pandemic. The EU effectively cut off vaccine trade and spent big bucks to sweep up millions of doses. These are classic right-wing strategies. Orban and his allies are playing to a gallery that is already on its feet applauding. So coming back to our initial questions, the ambitions of this new alliance are clear now. A conservative Europe with regressive controls on citizens. The EU has long dictated other countries on policies. The question is it going to disown these three leaders? The answer is highly unlikely. But if this new alliance does materialize, we could see some heated face-offs in the European Parliament. And with a wave of right-wing populism spreading across the continent, such a political divide could spell the end of European solidarity or whatever is left of it. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.